as many as they are, what's making them move is patriotism. Okay?
If patriotism is so important as you're highlighting, is it that in future is to be added on the curriculums, or it's just done for a short period as we see?
Now, patriotism has come to stay, given the fact that when you look at how we started, we first always started without a secretariat for patriotism. When the president launched it, now we have a secretariat. As we speak now, the commissioner of patriotism is a member on the NCDC, National Curriculum Development Center. So we are trying to say that what we've been teaching the children, remember you went to school, you look at the old curriculum, the blessed children now are these ones of the new curriculum. Because even me, I was a student of the other old curriculum where it was structured that we should study more about other people, then we know less about ourselves. Look at the geography. They used to teach us about North America, Central Seaway, Ghanaian prairies, but you don't speak about Uganda. So we're studying more about other people and studying less about what? About us. So the curriculum is being revised. That's why you see today we have a new curriculum which is skill-oriented. Look at now the children in school. Senior 3 now, the students. When you go there, you find that children are having skills. Because now the other old curriculum would produce job seekers majorly. We get out of university, then you put on your suit, then you begin looking for a job. And you cannot do anything because you say you're a graduate. But today now you are seeing that the children in senior 2, senior 1, senior 3, they can at least bake a cake. They are studying mathematics, the objects, but in that practically they are baking a cake and making shapes. Today you get a graduate. Most of our graduates cannot even make a toothpick.
Instead, when you went through, it's called catering services.
Catering services, but it's no longer that. So that's why you see that most countries have developed it because they adopted this area. Okay? So this is what we are doing, and we think this one it will take Uganda forward. Because all these other countries you see that they have made it, they have done it because of patriotism. Because it teaches people hard work, it teaches people to sacrifice, it teaches people to have shame, it teaches people to put their country first before any other thing. It also teaches people to look at the national unity. Okay? Instead of dividing ourselves, you find the people, look at our politics today in the parties. You find that people now are fighting in parties not knowing they are Ugandans. And yet these parties were impressing, they go to Uganda here. You remember, I want to remind you that in 1986, when the president came to power, he had an idea which was to move the country forward. Actually, he said if Uganda is to move forward, we should minimize what divides the people apart. Because divided you fall, and united you what? And that's the time he said we should seek less about the parties. And he brought in the idea of the movement system. And for you who is now, by then you were very young, but I want to tell you the benefit of the movement system. That during that time when people were selecting leaders, they were looking at merit. Merit. When they were voting NLC1, they would line up and somebody would consider on the line and greets the other, and they're going to serve others. But what's happening today? You see that? So people came up and began saying, no, we should go back to political parties. So they shunned away the idea of the president, and you find them embracing Tanzania and praising Tanzania. Okay? Yet President Museveni had brought a leaf from Nyerere in Tanzania, because at that time there they had Ujamaa policy. So from that people worked together. And today we see that they had the foundation which is making every person admire Tanzania. So when the president proposed this in 1986, when we came to 1995, people came up and said, no, we should open up the political space. Let's open the political space, we go back to political parties. So what is happening today? We have never had a time where politicians can accept for government to work for people. Because we have entered something people don't understand. So when we come in, we teach our people in patriotism. The children get to understand the history of their country. And then they can now be in the best position to think of how they can work towards the development of their country. So we have issues which have eaten us for long, and we think the only way, the solution to this, it is patriotism.
What do you think the parent who is denying his son or daughter this part of patriotism is missing?
Now, those parents do it ignorantly, But if they are aware and you see they tell us that ignorance of law is not defense. I even told you the constitution mandates all Ugandans, able-bodied Ugandans, to undergo mental what? So if a parent is doing that, is doing it in the wrong way, and that's criminal if you go by the constitution, because it's for Ugandans. Now, for if you deny your child to participate in patriotism, is your child going to live in Tanzania? At the end of it all, they realize their parents are wrong, and they even advocate that we should go to their parents, either in churches, in the mosques. We gather them and we also teach them the same, because for them they really see that patriotism is going to take Uganda far. But now their parents are still entrenched in the issues that trivial issues that divides them. There's that hatred, that hatred where you find people still mention tribalism, still people try to look at themselves depending on which religion you belong to. You see that. But when the children in school, we tell them, yes, you can be a Muslim, you can be a Christian, you can be a Catholic, but the underlying fact is that you are all Ugandans. Thank you very much. My last words to patriotism is to call upon our parents and all Ugandans that we embrace this program, because one is reminding our people to our African norms now, because sometimes the moral decay has come in because of colonialism, and you find that children these days have no respect. They hate working, and yet they want a good life, and they are taking advantage of them for homosexuality because they give them a lot of money. I get in that. So, and we take that duty now of talking to the young ones, and also call upon those who still have the negativity about this program. Given the way I've explained to them, if they have been listening to me, they now get to understand our program, and they can support it as the only way to go, because we try to call for national unity. And we, like for example, we look at issues that bring us together as Ugandans. We try to minimize those small issues that divide us. Looking at ourselves at a tribal level, we put it aside.